Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for attending our town council meeting this evening, July 14th, 2026. I think it's great that all of you are here, and I'm sure you're here for many issues, probably 30 or 40 different issues. So, but thanks again for attending. Roll call. Kat Perry.
Here.
David Harwood.
Here.
Mr. Miller. Ms. Matheson. Here.
Here.
Thank you. Okay. If you would, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's see. Approval of minutes. June 16th, 2026, regular and closed session meetings. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Go ahead. With the exception.
We'll make a motion.
Okay.
Second it, and then you
Second,
can request changes.
and I need to make some changes.
Okay?
We have throughout that we are increasing taxes by 0.04 or considered 0.05 cent. Technically, I would love it if we did 0.04 cents, but it should be either 4 cents or a dollar sign and 0.04.
Okay. You get that? I mean, I don't mind that being changed in the minutes. This council doesn't. Any other changes? Good. Did we get a second on that? On the motion? Okay.
Aye.
Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Wayne? Doug?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Do I have a motion to approve the regular agenda?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Okay, consent agenda, monthly department reports, June 2026, annual tax report and order of collections, ABC board vacancy advertisement, USDA loan public hearing request to set date for August 11th, 2026. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Okay. Kat?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Wayne?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Melissa?
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, public comments. If you would like to make public comments, you need to sign the public comment sheet that's located over there next to Miss Hillary. And now, we have a public hearing this evening on speed limit reduction on Green Hill. That's a separate public comment section. So if you sign this, you'll have to hold off till that public hearing comes on. Okay? Cool. I saw you coming, Barry. All right, yeah, that's just normal for the public hearing. Okay? All right, David Sweet. David, if you would, state your name and address for the record.
I'm David Sweet. My wife Susan and I live at 130 Green Street. Thank you for your time and attention this evening. I'm here to talk to you about deer overpopulation and the results thereof. It is a problem for Blowing Rock, not just because deer ruin the landscaping that costs money and effort, not just because they run out in front of your car, risking injury and damage to your car and the cost that causes, but also because the overpopulation of deer is becoming a health issue in Blowing Rock. Deer carry ticks. Ticks carry disease. Ticks don't stay on the deer, they get off and they get on you. This is creating a public health issue in Blowing Rock. Last summer, our flower garden was one that was included in the Garden Club Mile of Flowers. It was a lot of work to get ready for, but it was worth it. It turned out well. A few weeks later, in August, I passed out on our kitchen floor. Bam. Broke the glass I was holding. There was blood involved. We spent the rest of the day in the emergency room. They were trying to figure out why I passed out and what was wrong. They could not figure it out. They did lots of tests. They decided I needed a heart monitor, temporary, and they took blood for tests. About a week later, and sent me home. About a week later, the blood test results came back. What did it say? Rocky Mountain spotted fever. So I started treatment for that. It's antibiotics. It took 2 rounds of antibiotics to kill the Rocky Mountain spotted fever. At the same time, they were still trying to figure out why my heart was doing funny things. Went through a second heart monitor. I went through weeks of dizzy spells before that died out. Went through months of heart arrhythmia before that finally quit in January, 5 months later. Even the cardiologist couldn't say for sure why my heart arrhythmia was there. But I knew Rocky Mountain spotted fever. I never had any problem before, never had any problem since. That would be the end of this little story if it hadn't been that yesterday my wife Susan was diagnosed with Rocky Mountain spotted fever. If you start talking to people, you don't have to talk to very many who either have had a problem with it or Lyme disease, or they know somebody who's had this problem already. It is a public health issue right now in Blowing Rock. Deer are not just cute. They're not just a nuisance. With the deer overpopulation, tick-borne diseases have become a public health issue. We manage our stormwater. We manage our water and our sewerage, our trash and recycling, our traffic and our crime. Why can't we manage our deer population? We know it can be done. It's been done other places. What it takes first is public approval. We need to mobilize public opinion so that we can convince you that this is something the town needs to do. The town needs to act on. Let's manage our deer overpopulation before one of you has to catch a tick-borne disease. Thank you.
Already have.
You know, I greatly appreciate your comments, but at first I thought he was going to say they ate his garden up because my wife cannot keep her hostas. But I'm so sorry because we have heard of that. Jenny Miller. Name and address.
Jenny Miller, 490 Goforth Road. Dear Town Council, dear Town Manager, and dear community, dear God, I am so ticked off by the deer population. I just want to add this to David. I did get Rocky Mountain when I was 32 years old. In Charlotte, Mecklenburg has a huge population, a huge problem with the deer. Well, 20 years later, I go when I'm feeling terrible, some symptoms like David talked about, and I had fibromyalgia at 54. And the doctor said to me, have you ever had Rocky Mountain spotted fever? And I had. So I just want to concur. He said pretty much everything I was going to say, but I would just like to concur that if we could, have an ad hoc committee or get together with the town council and form a committee to look at the deer problem. I did want to tell you, just now coming from AHO, My friends live up there, and the daughter of Bishop Glover called us, Debbie Glover, we were at her house, and said, there are 2 dead fawn in my yard. One came on Friday and died. She doesn't know why. And another one, a full grown, has died in her yard like 50 feet away. So they called the Wildlife Commission to come out and get those deer and look at them to see if there is a disease going on. Well, we just happened to be there with Dorothy Chestnut, whose husband, Richard Chestnut, was there, our ex-vet, retired. And he said that sometimes when deer overpopulate, they do get a disease and they start dying off. But it's called blue tongue disease. But I would like us not to wait until that happens and just to look into the problem now. That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. Okay. Thank you. All right, moving right along. Public hearing, speed limit reduction on Green Hill Road. Now, I believe we going to defer to our town manager, Alice.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, everyone. At the May 12th, 2026 council meeting, it was decided that there would be a public hearing set for Green Hill Road, specifically to discuss speed reduction from 25 to 20. Staff has prepared a recommendation. I would invite Chief Nathan Kirk up. He is here just to answer any questions on his staff recommendation, and then we will turn over into public comment at that point in time. Chief Kirk, thank you.
Good evening, Chief.
How are y'all today?
Good, how are you, sir?
Doing good. Do we have any questions?
That was a short presentation.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I wrote the opinion and spent some time on it, and we've talked about this since I've been a member of the Blowing Rock Police Department since 2019. I like to acknowledge Miss Patricia Aiken. She's done a lot of work and research, and she's done a good job. So I can sum up, if you guys want me to sum up the memo that I typed up and sent to council and the town manager. Going through our research and radar studies and enforcement and everything like that, I agree with Miss Aiken on a lot of things up there. The only thing I disagree with is the speed limit reduction. And the reason I say that is because I think that we can achieve this goal through engineering means. Possibly looking at rumble strips, the speed tables. We've added the stop signs. I feel like that's made a difference up there. When I dedicate resources up there, I just don't feel like I'm getting the juice for the squeeze for the amount of times that we go up there. So since February, I pulled the numbers. Let me check my dates here. February 9th to July 10th, we have done 66 traffic stops on Green Hill Road. And out of the 66, we've wrote 4 citations, none for speeding. We had 2 arrests that came off of expired registration, stuff like that, suspended. And then we gave 60 verbal warnings. So I'm sending the guys up there, and I agree, we're gonna keep doing targeted enforcement, things like that. But just looking at the radar signs and the reports that we've done there, I pulled the last 2 that we had. We have the sign up there right now, and it's catching everything going northbound, heading towards the new traffic stop signs. We got a total, the sign is still up there, it's active. This is just pulled from the 7th of this month to the 13th. We've had a total count of 1,398 cars. Compliant is 621. That's going speed limit or below. Low risk is speed limit, anywhere between speed limit plus 5. That's 731. Our medium risk is speed limit plus 10. That's 44. And then the high risk is speed limit plus 20. And we've had 2. So I did a neighborhood traffic summary through our All Traffic Solutions program that we use for the radar thing. And based off of that, we've had 46 violators, which is your medium risk compared with your high risk added together. total vehicles, the minimum speed was 10 miles per hour that the sign called. The average speed was 26 miles per hour, and the max speed on the high risk was 51. So our compliance rate was 97%, falling in the compliance rate. And the compliance rate is based off of your compliant and then low risk. And then I pulled another study that was done in 2025, and that was in November from the 4th to the 10th. We couldn't keep the sign up there as long because the cold weather zapped the battery. But between those dates, we had a total of 1,924 vehicles. Compliant was 400, low risk was 1,168, medium 257, high risk was 9. And then the neighborhood traffic summary based off of that, 266 violators, again, that's medium and high risk combined. Minimum speed was again 10 miles per hour. Average speed limit that time was 29 miles per hour. Max speed was 51 miles per hour. And this was, again, catching southbound traffic. So the sign was flipped. This was before the stop signs were put in place, catching everybody coming off the state side. So with that one, we had 86 compliance rate, 71% of the vehicles slowed down when they saw the radar sign. And then the 85th percentile that you see in a lot of these reports and stuff, the 85th percentile speed refers to the maximum speed that 85% of drivers will not exceed on a given road, even if there were no speed limit, stop signs, or traffic signals. And that was 34 miles per hour. And on the one previous to that, 31. That's the current data. So we're seeing a trend here with more enforcement, getting up there, having more presence of police, radar signs. It went from 86 compliance rate to 97 compliance rate. Now, granted, your traffic count there, this isn't total. This is just to what we have now. 7th to the 13th. 1,300 cars compared to 1,900 cars. So those stats will change, the longer it sits up there. And we're in the middle of summer, which makes a difference as well. Going back to my memo, and me and Miss Aiken have talked over coffee in my office, multiple different things. And like I said, I agree on a lot of the points that she's making. I think as the town, the police department, we can try to contact the GPS companies, Google Maps, Waze. I've had limited success with that in the past, but if we're all together, we have concerned citizens that are going in there and talking to them, me sending stuff, the town sending stuff, we could even draft a letter and send it in. I think that would be a big help. I think we also need to talk with the NCDOT to partner with them as well on this, because part of the road is theirs. Commercial vehicle restrictions, that's something that we can work with the Parkway on. Right now, it's illegal to have a commercial vehicle up there. Enforcement wise, you're limited to the rangers that you have on staff. I believe they have 4 total, and they go all the way to the Virginia border. So that's something that we can work with them on as well. Additional signage on the Parkway off of Green Hill, coming on to Green Hill. I know we've talked, Ms. Aiken and myself have talked about the signage on Green Hill. We talked about it at the winter retreat, cleaning it up, making sure it's good, it's visible, and coordinating with the Park Service again. And then the neighborhood identity and pedestrian safety. That's cleaning up the signs again, cleaning that up. And I know Ms. Aiken will go over this when she does her presentation about that's a historic neighborhood. Get those signs out there where people can see that, be visible. But in conclusion, I agree with a lot of the stuff Ms. Aiken has pointed out, a lot of the concerns that the residents have. Where I see it at is if we reduce the speed limit, what is our threshold? What is it based off of? Because the traffic crash, when I presented at the winter retreat, there was 6 crashes between 21 to the winter retreat. None of them were speed related. So it was deer strikes, going back on the deer thing again, and weather related incidents. Side swipes over how narrow the road is, that's an issue as well. But with the radar signs, the enforcement actions, the crash data, and even in the Ramey Kemp study, I looked at that. The wrecks that they said were speed related were also weather related factors in that. So if it's 6 inches of snow on the ground and you're going 25 miles an hour, sometimes that's not warranted and you shouldn't do that. So I think weather is a bigger factor than the speed itself in that situation. But at the end of the day, public servant will do what the town asks. But I'll be willing to ask any questions if anybody has anything.
Well,
It just seemed to me, reading your report, that it's like nothing tragic has happened yet. And when it does happen, then there'll be another data point that we can analyze, perhaps lowering the speed. I think the most important data point are the citizens that live on the street, and they're telling us, they're out there right now, that it's too fast, it's dangerous, the road is too narrow, and I think frankly, they're scared, and they're doing what they can to increase the safety on that road by being here tonight and lobbying us to perhaps do something about it. And the other thing is, all the other neighborhoods in town have 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, just about, and why can't they? I didn't mean that to
Chief, how much headway have you made with DOT on discouraging commercial traffic off of 321 on to Green Hill? Because the signage is no good on Green Hill. They've already turned on Green Hill.
Yeah, exactly.
Any,
I know we've had, Ms. Aiken can help me with this, 2 at least here in the recent, 18-wheelers getting stuck. They can't make it past that turn. So I've had trouble with the DOT even changing in the GPS routing, because right now you have 18-wheelers coming up and they turn, if they're going to 221 per se, they won't go down to the main traffic light. They'll turn at Sunset, turn on the Ransom Street and jackknife on Main Street. I've had that problem multiple times, more than I can count. I can't get them to change that. And then if you do get them to change it, the issue is that, okay, this truck driver has a Garmin from 2013. And if they don't ever update the software, it still reads that route. So I think that's another issue with it, but we'll keep fighting the fight and pestering.
Chief, I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the biggest problems is just the increased number of vehicles on that road in the last, 5 years. One of the things that I hear is the police are always on 321. I wonder how many of these vehicles are taking Green Hill because they know the police are going to be on 321. I would like, do you rotate off of 321? It would kind of be nice to be where they don't expect you to be.
Yeah. If we could figure that out, we'd be in good shape. And basically,
I say that as someone that, I drove Green Hill, first Possum Hollow, there is 125-mile-an-hour sign on Possum Hollow, and all the rest are 20, which I don't know why that is. But driving through town, I drove Green Hill the other day. Sometimes it is very difficult to cross another vehicle coming opposite of you and there's no place to go. And that's why I want to do everything we can. I agree with Charlie, the signs on Green Hill saying no through traffic, I don't know if it says no through traffic, I think.
No, it says nothing over 2 axles, but it's on Green Hill.
So
exactly.
is
By the time
there
they
a
see the sign,
way,
it's too late.
if we can get that sign put on 321 and the Parkway, because you gotta divert in both directions, is there a way to limit trailers over a certain length or impose a fine? I know we have to allow moving vans and local traffic because you're gonna have deliveries, but is there a way to impose a fine for these 18-wheelers that just go on there because the GPS tells them to?
There's signage, they go past the signage and they get on the road and then possibly cause damage to the road. There's fines that they can be associated with that. I think the issue that we're gonna run into, especially because I agree with you, the road is narrow in a lot of spaces up there. And half the wrecks that I've worked up there personally have been side swipes for landscaping trucks or different things like that. you have landscaping equipment going through there to cut grass on Green Hill Road.
Right.
How do you differentiate who's supposed to be on the road, who's not supposed to be on the road? Is what we're gonna run into. You can't pull over a landscaping truck because of, they're not breaking any laws, they're free traveling. That's the situation we run into, because it's a public street,
Right.
But,
and I know we've gotta have access for construction vehicles and whatever, but if we can designate no through traffic, no trucks over 2 axles, I mean, the truck, if a truck turns on there and gets stuck and can't turn around, they should get a fine. Then they're gonna tell other truckers, don't go that way,
yeah,
because they do communicate with each other. I mean, that's just a suggestion. And then the other thing is just, I don't know if y'all ever sit at, the old wheelies, or before they get to 321.
yeah.
Or
So the way-
before they get to Green Hill.
The way I dedicate the resources in town is based off of our radar data and things like that. So your hot spot in town is 321. That's always gonna be number one because you got the most traffic coming through there.
True.
And it goes from a 45 to a 35, 45, 55, or 50, excuse me. So that's number one. It's always number one. 221 is number two. You have the most traffic coming in there, and we've had pedestrians be struck and killed on
Right.
221. More pedestrians hit. Main Street's another hot one. Ransom Street, Green Hill Road, they fall into the list like that. What I try to do is have the guys go out, they'll hit 321 for an hour, go to 221, split up, go to different parts of town.
So they do split up?
They
again?
do, yeah. Some will be in
Okay.
Mayview, some will be on the Green Hill side. Trying to move them around, but again, limited resources. I have 2 day shift officers, 1 mid shift and 2 night shift. And that's if I'm fully staffed.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Council?
I talked with Ray and Ray's,
I'm sorry.
talked with Ray and Ray's willing to try and help us to get a sign out there on 321 possibly.
Okay.
Because if they make that turn, it's too late.
It's too late, yeah.
You know, so it's got to be out there on the road.
So you talked to Ray Pickett about it. Good. Good. Thank you.
Chief, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Are you in favor or do you have an opinion about any potential traffic calming measures on Green Hill? And if so, where?
Well, that's above my pay grade. I was an Army engineer. I wasn't an engineer. I think it's gonna be what's capable of the road is capable to have on it. So, speed tables like something similar to what we have on Possum Hollow right now. It goes up, it's smooth, it goes back over. I think this is a conversation we need to have with Matt as well about snow plows, because I think to be truly effective, you need to have a true speed table. And then that's a conversation you need to have with the fire department. They have to be able to get apparatuses over it, medic units, things like that as well. It's not gonna be difficult for a passenger vehicle to get over it. But I think the true speed table would be one where it's elevated. You go up, both tires at the top of the table before it starts coming down again. But that's a question for an engineer. I'm in agreement for rumble strips, and me and Ms. Aiken talk in depth about those as well. The problem with rumble strips then is the noise associated with rumble strips. So anybody around the stop signs that we have there, Fairway or Wonderland or Green Hill, circle, it's gonna be loud. You're gonna have people coming in and it's gonna be rattling, and then when they take off, that's another sound associated with it as well. But I'm in favor for it. If it's something that can slow them down, I've been trying to get the DOT to put rumble strips, which they've approved. When they do it is up to them. But putting rumble strips on this end of town on 321 as well as this end going out. I know me and Doug spoke with the engineers of DOT on that. That's a separate issue, but they did approve that. So I'm in favor of that. It gets drivers' attention, slows people down. And the goal is to keep people off of Green Hill that trying to cut through. If they have to go over rumble strips every day, it might change your route.
Thank you.
Good, counsel. All right, open this up. Public hearing.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Now, if you would, if there's a group of you that have the same ideas and same thoughts, I would request you designate a speaker. Okay? We have other issues this evening to go over, so please be knowledgeable and counsel, but We know everybody feels, we really do. We appreciate all the time that's taking place. When you do come up, please state your name and address for the record.
Do you all mind if I ask if our young families are okay? Do any of you all need to come down here? Are y'all okay?
No,
Okay.
everything's fine. We're not-
Okay, okay. They made a lot of effort to be here.
That's good.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, council members. My name's Tricia Aiken, and I live at 252 Heather Ridge Lane. I have been a full-time Blowing Rock resident for 6 years. Is it on? Can you hear me?
Thomas, is the mic on?
Back here, so it's really hard to hear.
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay, I'll be really close. I want to thank you for this public hearing, for taking the time to listen to the neighbors who live on and off of Green Hill Road. I assure you we wouldn't be here and be so vocal if we didn't consider this matter immensely important to the safety of residents of more than 200 homes who use Green Hill daily, but also crucially important to the town of Blowing Rock. We have at least 4 young families who live directly on Green Hill who have 7 or 8 children. We have families with teenagers on Edge Hill. We have a young family in Wonderland Woods. We stand at a crossroads. Are we going to surrender Green Hill to being a mini highway, or are we going to restore it to the quiet residential street it once was? Green Hill Road is a complicated road. The physical road was built for access to residences, narrow and curvy. At some point, it became a rural state highway. It was connected to the parkway, and then the majority of it was taken over by the town of Blowing Rock as a residential road. There are 61 homes that directly front Green Hill, some as close as 12 feet from the road. As development north and east grew, cut-through traffic to 321 exploded, and safety problems became real. The town responded by installing a stop sign at Green Hill Circle. As speeding cut-through traffic continued to increase, the town completed a traffic study in 2021, resulting in a second stop sign added at Fairway Lane. Other measures were recommended that have not yet been implemented. In 2023, the NCDOT installed a light at Green Hill and Highway 321. Although this light makes turning left onto the highway from both directions safer, it has incentivized southbound traffic to use Green Hill. To show this point, data collected by the Blowing Rock Police shows that daily southbound traffic increased 79% from 2021 to 2024 and 18% northbound. I began this initiative after seeing a 97-year-old neighbor at his mailbox, and a week later the mailbox was mowed down. My 85-year-old neighbor, who has lived in Blowing Rock his entire life, crosses Green Hill daily on his walk. I seriously worry about something very sad happening in our current Green Hill traffic environment. The core problem on Green Hill is not speeding. That is the secondary problem. The core problem is the volume of traffic using the road as a thoroughfare between the Parkway and Highway 321. There is a mismatch between what the road was built for, residential access, and how it is now used. Commuters passing through have one goal: get to their destination as fast as they can. Our neighborhood group believes we must make Green Hill Road slow and tedious, enough to affect GPS routing and drivers' choices. This is why we are asking for a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit reduction as part of a broader push to reduce cut-through traffic. Police say most drivers drive 25 miles an hour. Residents say otherwise. and the numbers back us up. Police speed sign data from last year shows 75% of southbound traffic at 1500 Green Hill, represented here in the yellow and the orange. 75% was speeding. At Curvy Galix Lane, 50% was speeding. Next slide. This chart shows the average speed at 1500 Green Hill was about, I think Chief Kirk just said, 29 miles per hour. It's likely understated since drivers ease off when they see a speed sign. Next slide. If you compare that to 2021, the average was 25.65. Put very simply, at least southbound, 75% of the traffic is speeding, and the traffic has gotten faster in the last 5 years. Nothing about Green Hill's physical environment has changed. What changed is a category of traffic that has no legitimate reason to be there. Next slide, please. NCDOT adopted the Safe System approach for speed setting, which takes into consideration land use, road geometry, pedestrian traffic, driveway density, and other factors. In other words, our state's guidance says to consider that Green Hill is residential, narrow and curvy, how many driveways connect to it, that pedestrians and bicyclists use it, as well as crash data in setting the speed limit. Every other town-maintained residential street in Blowing Rock is 20 miles an hour. Green Hill has more houses fronting it, is curvier and narrower, and should be too. As the Ramey Kemp study recommended, our strategy for reducing cut-through traffic also includes working with the GPS routing systems, implementing and enforcing restrictive usage for large and long vehicles not working in the neighborhood, and requesting help from the National Park Service for better enforcement of their no commercial traffic. Lastly, we want to enhance the look of the nationally registered historic district it is. We are so appreciative to the town and the state for the newest stop sign at Wonderland Drive, because this was the area of fastest traffic, and it is a further step towards slow and tedious. Sadly, it is not enough. Development north and east is accelerating, so this is only going to get worse. In conclusion, lowering the speed limit to what every other residential street in Blowing Rock is, combined with enforcement and other traffic calming measures, will affect GPS routing, should cause drivers to choose another way, and will protect the physical road. Most importantly, it will make Green Hill safer for the residents, including the children who live here. I respectfully ask the council to help us restore Green Hill to the historic residential street it was designed, developed, and continues to be developed as, and not surrender it to out-of-town traffic. Thank you.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record.
My name is Leslie Joyce. Can everybody hear me? I tend to be pretty loud. Okay. I live at 1500 Green Hill, which you've heard referenced a couple times as far as the traffic study is concerned. I've been a part-time resident for over 20 years and a full-time resident for the last 5. I've seen an enormous change between where I lived on Wonderland and where I now live on Green Hill. Per Charlie's recommendation, I won't reiterate the GPS case because we've talked about that. I think we all understand that it is a major lever that we have in order to improve the quality of life on Green Hill. What I will say in that is posted speed limits are just suggestions. And as Chief Kirk recommended and noted, people do tend to exceed those speed limits. And the grace period tends to be the 9 miles per hour grace period, which I'm sure none of you have ever used as you're driving. And so when you look at 25, it's not 25, it's 34 safely. If you look at 20, it's 29 safely. If you look at the relative crash impact of the difference between hitting something or someone at 34 miles an hour versus hitting something or someone at 28, it is enormously more problematic. And I think that's a problem we don't want to face. Related to the crash statistics, the thing I would like to say is while we don't have crash data specifically, and crash data is a retrospective measure. It is not a prospective measure. But what we do have on Green Hill is a lot of near misses. Enormous near misses, and you ask anyone who drives that road how many times you've been pushed to the side of the road by an oversized vehicle, even if it's not speeding. How many times you've lost a side view mirror. I think there's one of our residents that actually had a collection of side view mirrors that ended up on the side of the road. There are mailboxes, as Tricia mentioned, that have been destroyed and replaced. And I personally have suffered $50,000 worth of property and landscape damage from somebody speeding around the curve at Edge Hill and slamming in to my guardrail, or I should say my fence post, and rolling that down my driveway. Now, that doesn't get reported. I mean, that one did. But the side swipes and the mirrors and the off-road pieces don't get reported as crashes. And the last thing in the world we want is for them to be crashes. And fortunately, the simplest thing that the town can do, among all the other things that people have talked about, is lower that speed limit. So the grace period is lower. Other towns have been proactive about this. You don't have to have crash data. What you have to have is a will to do the right thing. Asheville, big as that is, lowered all of its residential speed limits to 20. Raleigh and Durham lowered their residential speed limits proactively as well. So we don't need to wait for something bad to happen in order for us to protect the citizens. So I asked the council to take all of that into consideration and hear from others. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, council. I'm going to do my best to be mercifully brief.
Name and address, please.
My name is Pete Murphy, and my wife Sarah and I live in Blowing Rock here at 175 Heritage Lane. We've owned our home for 21 years, and I'm a registered voter in Watauga County. So I'm also one of the many people that regularly use Green Hill Road. I drive it and I walk my dog Mabel on it. And I want to address one basic point tonight, and that is pedestrians lawfully belong on Green Hill Road. And the safety of the road should reflect that reality. We've heard the statement from people in this room, roads are for cars and sidewalks are for people. Well, sidewalks are certainly the preferred place for pedestrians where they exist. Green Hill Road has none. In fact, many roads throughout Blowing Rock, including some downtown streets, do not have sidewalks. If roads without sidewalks are considered only for cars, then walking through much of Blowing Rock would effectively be discouraged. That would also conflict with the town's long-term comprehensive plan, which identifies connectivity as a priority and calls on the town to, I quote, ensure that all residents can freely move in and around the town through a variety of transportation modes. North Carolina law recognizes where sidewalks are not provided, pedestrians may lawfully walk along the roadway. Pedestrians must use care, generally face traffic, and yield appropriately. But they are lawful road users and they're entitled to reasonable protection from risk. I know the risk personally on this road. More than once, while walking on Green Hill Road, I've had to quickly step off the pavement and into a ditch, and because an approaching driver did not slow down or yield enough safe distance. And I cannot know whether the driver was distracted, looking at a phone, or simply failed to see me. But the driver's behavior treated the roadway as though the vehicle had exclusive claim to it. And that is exactly the point. People make mistakes, and pedestrians are particularly vulnerable to those mistakes. Green Hill is not an ordinary road, as we've talked about. It is narrow and curving with limited or non-existent shoulders, restricted sight distance, steep edges, numerous driveways, and homes close to pavement, and large commercial vehicles passing through, which we talked about. At times, also, numerous times, contractor vehicles also block part of the lane, forcing pedestrians and vehicles into even closer proximity. Compare that to 321, which obviously connects to Green Hill. 321, we all know, is wide, generally straight, a 4-lane highway with sidewalks and a posted speed limit of 35 miles an hour. Green Hill is dramatically narrower, no sidewalks, and almost no margin for error. So a driver traveling 10 miles per hour over on 321 still creates risk. But on Green Hill, that same speeding occurs on a narrow, curving residential road where pedestrians may have nowhere to go except a ditch, a bank, or a driveway. Residents in the police department may disagree about whether a lower speed limit is the right tool, but there's broad agreement about the underlying safety concerns. The department recognizes increased cut-through traffic, concerns about large commercial vehicles, narrow lanes, limited shoulders, numerous curves, constrained sight distances, etc. And as Chief Kirk talked about, the need for pedestrian awareness and traffic calming measures. The police department has concluded that the available crash history does not provide sufficient evidence to justify lowering the speed limit. I would understand that conclusion if crash history were the only factor, but it is not. Absence of a serious crash does not prove that the road is safe. It proves only that no one has been seriously injured yet. A lower speed limit will not solve every problem on Green Hill Road, as we talked about, but it is a reasonable, cost-effective first step the town can take now, while signage, enforcement, commercial vehicle restrictions, and additional traffic calming measures are evaluated. Tricia spoke about an elderly resident using a walker that was seen standing at his mailbox in Green Hill Road. A week later, the mailbox had been struck and was gone. Thankfully, it was the mailbox. But for us in this room, once a foreseeable risk is known, waiting for someone to be injured is not a responsible safety strategy. The risk is already visible, and now is the time to take the first reasonable step. My comments tonight concern only the town-maintained portion of Green Hill Road, where Blowing Rock has jurisdiction and responsibility. So I respectfully ask that the council reduce the speed limit on that portion from 25 to 20 miles an hour, supported by appropriate signage, enforcement, and traffic calming measures. Let's not wait until that mailbox is a person. Thank you.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Sandy Hogan. I live at 1041 Green Hill Road, and I am a full-time resident here in Blowing Rock. I vote in Watauga County, and I'm a retired bond trader. We've already addressed, I'm going to get really close to this mic because I have a soft voice. Can you hear me okay? Thank you. We've already addressed the serious safety issues on Green Hill Road, and I'm here to address another serious issue, and that is the town's fundamental fiduciary duty, i.e., respectfully to all of you, the fiscal stewardship of the elected governing body of our town. The issue is the degradation of the road surface of Green Hill Road. In just a few short years, and after a significant bond issue was spent on its rehabilitation. Part of that went to Green Hill Road, a good portion of that. And this all mainly is due to the heavy, overweight, multi-axle commercial traffic that travels Green Road as a bypass. And to bring your attention to the financial consequences to this issue for the whole town. Not just for Green Hill residents, but this is a taxpayer issue for the whole town, and I'll tell you why. During the 2021 and 2022 capital improvement cycle, this town made a major coordinated investment in Green Hill Road. That was the general obligation bond of 2015. Green Hill Road's rehabilitation was tied directly to the 4.6 or $4,635,000 transportation portion of the voter mandated $13 million series. It's the 2015 series. It's a GO or general obligation bond, public improvement bonds. In addition, the town also spent exactly $312,500,000 in a public utility funds to replace the subsurface water lines beneath the roads. In addition, the town also spent, this is the amount that they spent. This money was specifically allocated for transportation improvements, including the rehabilitation and resurfacing of Green Hill Road. According to, this is out of the records where I got this exact verbiage. According to the Town of Blowing Rock's council minutes, the work on Green Hill Road was a coordinated effort that combined surface paving with subsurface infrastructure repair to maximize the bond money. Speaking about asset depreciation, the town used long-term taxpayer-backed debt to resurface Green Hill Road in 2021, a few short years ago. GO, or general obligation bond-funded street repairs, are intended to have a structural lifespan of 15 to 20 years. Because the town is allowing unpermitted heavy commercial truck and non-local residential traffic to bypass US 321 via Green Hill Road, the town has a localized residential asset that is experiencing severe structural degradation. As a town, we're letting the lifespan of a multi-million-dollar asset go from 20 years to 5 years. That equates to $50,000 to $70,000 per year of taxpayer money. This is the cost of non-action by the town. This grade of road surface here on Green Hill Road is not capable of supporting not only our harsh winter weather, but a road that is not built for heavy commercial traffic such as it is now experiencing. The fiscal reality is that the town is essentially watching a brand new capital investment crumble years ahead of schedule, which will require an emergency cash infusion or further debt to fix it. If you look at the cost of a Green Hill Road repair now in today's dollars, the Blowing Rock portion of Green Hill Road is approximately 1.4 miles long. Under North Carolina DOT standards, pavement that has deteriorated enough that the base needs strengthening to handle truck traffic, which is the case in many sections of Green Hill Road, just after 5 years, the cost of repair would be between $1.5 and $2.5 million per mile, or roughly $3 to $3.5 million for the total repair in today's dollars. Construction costs have escalated, as we know. Because the town is currently allowing these massive, multi-axle, overweight commercial trucks to use the steep residential grade of Green Hill Road as a bypass, they're destroying it in less than 5 years. In many places on Green Hill Road, it's already fracturing and rutting and showing signs of advanced structural failure. And if heavy commercial traffic and 18-wheelers continue to bounce down these steep grades, the massive vibrations could structurally threaten the new water main, risking underground repairs. As taxpayers and citizens of this town, we are asking that you protect the town's investment on Green Hill Road. If we allow this heavy commercial traffic, it is fiscally irresponsible. So the recommended action items that we're asking you for is that we urge the town council to exercise the legal authority, every legal authority that you have under North Carolina law, to protect our residents and the town's financial assets through the immediate actions. The first one is to approve the proposed speed limit reduction of 20 miles per hour on Green Hill Road. We've already discussed that one. That it would help with speed limit reduction and traffic calming. The second one is to establish a gross vehicle weight rating limit and establish a strict rate limit banning vehicles over 10,000 pounds, to restrict 18-wheelers and heavy commercial trucks from using Green Hill Road as a throughway, with exemptions strictly limited to local residential deliveries and emergency vehicles. We've already discussed this one. We've also talked about installing prominent no-through truck signage. Everybody's agreed, I believe, that that needs to be before they get onto Green Hill Road, but to place clear, visible, restrictive signage at both entrance points and request targeted police weight enforcement. And the last one, we'd ask that you approve physical speed limit reduction and mountain-appropriate traffic calming methods. And that is installing asphalt speed tables like the speed tables that already exist on Sunset, Possum Hollow Road, Country Club Drive, Wallingford Road, and numerous other locations in Blowing Rock. And frankly, as a resident on Green Hill Road for 6 years, and having observed the behavior of the traffic offenders, the most effective of all these traffic regulators are the asphalt speed tables, because while they ignore signs and speed limits, they have to slow down for the asphalt speed tables or the damage to their vehicles and the contents of their vehicles or the vehicles that they're pulling is done. And being a resident that is very close to the road, we've observed a lot of very interesting things that have occurred in front of our home with all of the speeding and the large trucks that come through. And I just want to thank you for your service to the town, for all of you. I thank you for your kind attentions and your diligence in addressing this very serious issue.
Name, address, Wayne, for the record, please.
I have to call you mayor or can I call you Joe?
Charlie's fine.
All right, in respect to mayor's request, there go the notes. Everything I have to say to you, you've already heard. You've got packages there. And everybody is on the same page. Everybody in the community of Green Park's on the same page. My name is Wayne Smith. My wife is Claudia. She's here. We reside at 338 Heather Ridge Lane. We own property at 1868 Green Hill Road, the mailbox house. And we own multiple lots between those two properties. Actually, we have about 730 linear feet along Green Hill Road. We've lived in Blowing Rock since 1984. We've had 3 residents. They've all needed immediate access to Green Hill, as anybody up in that area needs, to to get to wherever you want to go, whether it's 321 in the town, the Parkway. So I kind of think I know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Green Hill and the traffic and that stuff. Now, having said all that and honoring Mayor Silver's request, let me just get to about three things we could accomplish, and they've been touched on before. But speed. I mean, safety is my issue here, but speed is critical. Now, where we live is where the new stop signs are. And we can sit down in our backyard and we can listen to the cars come by, and I can tell you whether they stopped, whether they did a rolling stop, whether they looked down the highway and didn't see anybody and came on through, or whether they say, damn, the torpedo is full speed ahead, I'm coming through. And so the stop signs have done a good job. They're just not complete with what we need to have done. So stop signs are very important, and there'll be other efforts, I'm sure, to slow traffic down. Slower traffic, one thing we haven't talked about, and it has to do with walkers, joggers, bicycle riders, people crossing the street. Your reaction time is impacted by the speed. At 20 miles an hour, you might have a chance. At 25, marginally. At 30, you got no chance. Well, somebody's already talked about the damage done to impact at those speeds. So speed is an issue, and I'd like you to look at speed consistent with the rest of Blowing Rock, 20 miles an hour. Roadway, we just listened to a great report on the roadway. There's some talent in that report right there. The roadway needs to be repaired. You can't, if somebody were coming at you speeding, you needed to move away, where are you gonna go? You'd probably come away with a broken leg from falling in the ditch rather than a busted hip from getting hit by the car. So we need to work at that with the road. Enforcement, that's a touchy subject. I don't know the timing of all these reports on traffic, but I guarantee you the budget of the town would increase significantly if we had a patrol car sit out there at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Because that's when all the traffic, 8 o'clock when people are leaving to go to work, 4 o'clock when everybody's trying to get home. We sit out there and listen to it day after day after day. That's when we need to have some help out there. And what do? What do we split some of those officers that are on Green Park, on 321? Maybe bump them up there every once in a while. It wouldn't take long for the area to get a reputation as a speed ticket area, and maybe that's what we need to do. So those are the three things. Some observations. This is classic. See that? It's a car park. Every day you can walk Green Hill and pick up cars. So why did I do this? What am I telling you? Green Hill's not safe for cars. Forget people, but it's not safe for cars. So we need to pay attention to what's going on up there. It was talked about cars stopping in the lanes when traffic's coming out. If you're going to the Parkway and some of these big trailer trucks are coming, or some of these landscape trucks are coming at you, people are stopping in their lane on Green Hill Road, which is not safe. But they're afraid to challenge that truck. The truck's already crossing the yellow line, so they stop there. The other thing is you're coming down, some of our elder residents drive up Green Hill, you can see the terror in their eyes. As they go through, what did I call it? I called it, they're trying to thread the needle of Green Hill Road. As I'm getting older, it's getting me a little bit too. So, that's important. The mailboxes. The first mailbox that was hit, the person who hit it, very kind individual, went out, picked up all the parts and put all the parts back where the mailbox used to be. The second person that knocked over the other one, they just totally destroyed it. I don't know what rate of speed they were going, but they went down into the drainage ditch that parallels Green Hill Road, back across our driveway and back across the corner of our yard. Now, Claudia's mom and dad live up there. They're 98, 96. They go out to get the mail every once in a while. We try to discourage that. There's no way they could avoid anything like that. So you know, it's an issue right there. Okay, I have a final thought here. And you all can answer this question for me. Maybe you probably don't want to, but who's responsible when a catastrophic occurrence takes place on Green Hill Road because of the conditions that exist out there? And we know all about those conditions. We've got reports, we're talking about it now. Who's responsible then? I mean, it may be something we ought to try to take care of now as opposed to later. Now, I know people are going to say, well, you spent all the money up there and you're not spending it over. Sooner or later, you got to pay one and not the other. But I would encourage you to look at those points, all of the points. You got a great report that Tricia Atkins gave you. That's marvelous work there. But let's look at that, see how it works, see what we can do about, you know, one of the quotes we like to use in building anything and doing anything is pick the lower fruit. Speed limit signs, that's as low as we can go. Tabletops, we have a report on speed tables. And let me see if I can get this correct on the speed tables. It is a vulcanized rubber speed table that is removable if you got a problem in the wintertime because of the snow. And I know that's an issue, but it's removable. Tabletops would slow traffic down. Some of those large landscapers losing their product or losing their equipment as they go over those things too quick. Wouldn't take many trips and they'll pay attention. The idea is that we need to discourage the traffic that's not essential. Don't want to take the worker bees out of their opportunity. If you had anybody on the council had furniture delivered, a moving van come to their house, what do? They go down to the Green Park parking lot, get a smaller truck and transport them up Green Hill. Now, I don't know that that works with a cement truck or a building truck or something, but there are ways to take care of that. And I think we need to get on it now before it becomes a problem that we can't handle and start working at units and work our way up to the top, which would ultimately be removing the excessive traffic on Green Hill. I want to thank the council, thank the mayor. Congratulations on your new position. Thanks for listening.
Name and address.
Hi, my name is Chelsea Garrett, and I live at 143 Edge Hill, right across from Miss Joyce's house, and her stone pillar that got demolished. And John Aldridge asked that I would come up here and briefly summarize every other comment that was made tonight, so I'm going to do that. I'm just kidding. I just want to make a couple points. One is I speed, and I'm a very much 9 you're fine, 10 you're mine believer, and if the speed limit's 20, I'm gonna go slower than if the speed limit's 25, and that's everyone. That's every speed on every road. And I think, having a teenager, Lauren Ernfield has had a teenager, has another teenager. I would love for him to get popped coming down Green Hill Road from just right at the bottom, right where and so was a great place for for the stop sign, because that's like the peak of the speed. But it's a really easy road to speed on. So unlike a lot of the roads in Blowing Rock that are already 20, that are quite difficult to speed on, and you don't have the straightaways. We've got some really good straightaways that you can really get your speed up on, and you have to watch it. Even if you live on the road and you care, you have to watch it. So the people that don't live on the road and don't care, imagine how much more often and they're going to speed and how much faster. There isn't any margin. My truck mirror was demolished, and I took it to get inspected last month and was told I had to buy a new mirror. I forgot it wouldn't pass, shattered mirror, so I had to go buy a new mirror. But even if you go slow, that was actually hit on Sunset, and we were going really slow around a curve, and it's just narrow. It doesn't. So I guess the one thing I would say about Chief Kirk's comments that I didn't quite understand is I still never heard a reason why lowering the speed wasn't a good thing to do. And I would ask you guys, if you were to fill in the sentence, I voted against lowering the speed on Green Hill Road because, what would you say? What is a reason not to? I haven't heard a reason not to. I guess to me, it kind of boils down to that. You can analyze it all day long, but I really don't understand why, especially when you have the consistency of that now matching all the other speeds on all the other roads. And then the last thing I'd say, just to compare it as from a matter of perspective, I don't know who else is annoyed when the speed limit on 321 between Blowing Rock and Lenore went down when the road width went up. But I was really annoyed that it was now 50 and thus harder to speed down. And they widened it and the DOT lowered the speed. So, I guess my point is I don't understand. I haven't heard a reason. I just haven't heard a reason. So also it's preventative. Everything about enforcement is reactive. This is preventative. It also costs a lot less than the speed table. So at least do this and then see. I'm just not sure that there's a reason not to do it. So thank you.
Mr. Buxton, did you?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, thank all of you for your service. We appreciate what you're doing for our community. Please know that. I'll cut right to the chase if I may. Barry Buxton, 110 Blackberry Lane. I apologize. I'll cut right to the chase. We are talking about the soul of one of Blowing Rock's oldest neighborhoods. Green Hill existed. You may know that it was annexed by the town of Blowing Rock in 1927. So Green Hill goes way back. And the last thing we want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to sacrifice one of our most important neighborhoods. We need to work together carefully, strategically, to make sure that we maintain the integrity of this community and this neighborhood as part of it. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Curtis Howe, H-O-W-E. I live in Madison. Myself and my family have owned property on Green Hill Road since the mid-60s.
And your address here?
1353 Green Hill Road. Prior to that, we owned a little place at the intersection of Green Hill Road and Green Hill Circle. And as kids, our parents had no qualms with us walking up and down Green Hill Road, and built a little fort right there at the intersection of Green Hill Road and Green Hill Circle. But we probably trespass on several of y'all's properties. But we've since moved to 1353. And now, we just wouldn't think of letting our young kids walk on Green Hill Road. It's just treacherous, and it's the speed and the volume. But I just wanted to travel a little bit and really thank you and Chief and y'all for paying attention to this serious issue. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak? I do appreciate all the citizens coming out, and I know. How are you, sir?
Good.
Good. Good, thank you.
Brandon Walker, 232 Ransom Street. I didn't have time to prepare for this. I've just kind of been making notes since I got here. I'll start by saying I fully 100% support the traffic calming measures, increased enforcement signage, no commercial traffic signs on the Parkway and on 321. The next thing I'll say, though, is the 2021 study has been mischaracterized a few times. The study specifically said no additional stop signs, and not such as the one at Fairway Court in particular, and now the one at Wonderland. There's numerous studies out there that show the stop signs at intersections with traffic levels as low as those intersections can actually increase danger because drivers don't stop, as I'm sure you've seen. Related to that, the 2021 study and the DOT say that stop signs should not ever be used as speed control devices. I'll go to enforcement. Just, I've been told that most of the, I think 66 people that have been pulled over when they've been up there doing more enforcement live on Green Hill Road. Just, again, I've been told that. I'll also say I grew up on Green Hill Road, right next to is it Hill Street, I believe it is. We own the house right next to that is much more in that blind curve than Hill Street is, and we have to back out of our driveway. I grew up there, I rode my bike there, walked, ran, etc. My 84-year-old father lives there now. He's not supportive of the speed change. And again, backing out of that driveway into that blind curve. Now let me get to the speed. Just simple research since I've been sitting over there and some notes I've made. Lowering the speed limit, unless if traffic patterns don't justify it, doesn't lower people's speeds. It can increase it. And I guess right now I'm kind of repeating a lot of what Chief Kirk had to say. Let's see. I am going to quote the DOT. Lowering the speed limit does not guarantee motorists will drive slower. Speed management countermeasures, like I said, I support, may have to be implemented along the roadway. Second, this is from the Arizona DOT. I found this right before I walked out of my office. Posted speed limits have very little effect on actual traffic speeds. There's a common belief that the posting of a speed limit sign will cause drivers to react accordingly. That is not true and is why posted speed limits must be realistic to achieve compliance. Unrealistically low speed limits invite violations even by responsible drivers. Since 1983, speed limit's been 25. I feel comfortable driving on that road at 25 miles an hour. From what Chief Kirk presented, the majority of drivers are going 25 or 26 miles an hour, depending on when the study was done. And that's it.
May I just say, I don't think.
Wait, when we have a public hearing, everybody is allowed to give their public comments. Now you can step up here.
I think the point.
Does anybody else
Is reducing the speed limit also reduces the volume of traffic, and I'm not sure the previous speaker made that connection.
Okay.
Reducing the speed limit reduces the volume of traffic, and we desperately need it.
Very, thank you. Now, does not, when we have the public hearings, we're not here to debate. That is the council's job to debate. Everybody has an opinion, whether it be right, wrong, or indifferent. And everybody has the right to speak their opinion. So make note. Now, David, thank you. Do we have anyone else that would like to speak? Okay. All right, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
Yeah, motion.
Do I have a second? Second. Okay. Public hearing is now closed. Council, thoughts? Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make one. I'll make a motion to lower the speed.
I'm sorry, speak
I
up.
will make a motion to lower the speed.
We have a motion on the table to lower the speed limit from 25 to 20. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any any additional discussion, additional comments? David?
Yeah, I have a couple. So I appreciate everybody coming out. This is obviously an issue of concern. It's always great to see citizens collaborate and come together. Everybody here has Blowing Rock's best interest at heart. So I appreciate all the comments. As I listened to everybody and I looked at Ms. Aiken's document, The problem really seems to be the volume of traffic. In fact, in your opening paragraph, it says the problem mentions nothing about speed as a problem. So I think speed is being treated as the lowest fruit on the tree to pick. You know, that is the easy solution. We go out there with our wrench and we change the signs and we put new signs up and we feel better about ourselves. But the lowest fruit is not always the best fruit. And if we're really trying to lower the amount of traffic, I don't think that lowering the speed is the answer. And I rely heavily on data in this job. And I have to rely on the data that the police department has furnished, the data that's in the study we paid for. And lowering it 5 miles an hour doesn't seem to be the answer. It potentially is part of the solution, but not the solution. And I think everybody agrees with that. So I'm not prepared to make that pull that first arrow out of the quiver and shoot it, because I don't think that's the best arrow to shoot. I think we need to look at other solutions. And I think that is a step in the right direction. We added stop signs, and Mr. Walker is absolutely correct that stop signs are not supposed to be used as traffic calming measures. But we've done that, and both of those signs that were put up there were because people asked for them, not because the data supported it. So I would, as a first step, I would rather see us look at traffic calming measures and research those before we go with the lowering of speed limits. And I just don't think that is, I appreciate the comment on Asheville and Raleigh lowering their speed limits. And that's absolutely true, but it was from 35 to 25 on hundreds of streets. I'm talking. So I would not be in favor of that, but I would be in favor of looking at other measures first.
Okay, any other discussion? Moving forward. All right, we have a first, we have a second. Yes, Melissa?
I just want to say this issue has been going on for 10 years now. Is that right?
7 to 10.
And there are other traffic calming measures that we can take. I'm also looking at our budget and what is going to be the least impactful on our budget, building speed tables. The road is getting pretty bad. We've got to curtail some of this traffic, and that is the biggest issue, not necessarily the speeding, but anything we can do to curtail traffic that we can fit into our budget at this point, I think we probably should try to do.
Council, if I may, I am making a request that our police and town manager further address with North Carolina DOT the signage that's needed and possible those calming devices that have been spoken of. So thank you, Council. Doug?
While this has been going on, I've been trying to talk also with Representative Pickett.
Can you speak up, Doug?
While this has been, sorry, I had a little allergies today. While this has been going on, I've been trying to talk with Representative Pickett. And he said he's also a member of the Transportation Board. He stated that he didn't see any problem getting a sign on 321. The sign that's going to be hard to do is the one on the Parkway.
Right.
But he did say that he would work with us any way that he could help, that he would be glad to.
To reiterate, I'm not hoarse, Doug is. Doug said he has spoken with Representative Ray Pickett. Mr. Pickett is a member of the DOT board and going to push and work with DOT to get signage put up on 321, where it needs to be. We all know that. And of course, Doug did mention that the Blue Ridge Parkway, well, that's a different animal. But I'm sure moving forward, they will work with us at all, as well. So thank you, Doug. Thank you for working with Ray on that. All right, we have a first. Okay, yes, ma'am.
So, I am of the belief that lowering the speed limit from 25 to 20 is going to cause traffic to slow down somewhat. Because I don't see a lot of the cars staying at the 35 or whatever they're doing right now when you lower the speed limit to 20. I also think that it may cause some people not to take that thoroughfare because it'll take them longer to get over to the parkway or to get the 321. However, I think we need a multi-pronged approach. I don't think that lowering the speed limit is gonna be the panacea. So we need to long-term think about how we can also, do other things with the signs that we're talking about and, speed tags. And those are just my thoughts.
And enforcement.
Enforcement. Yes,
As
thank
much
you,
as
Joe.
anything.
Right.
A multi-pronged approach is what has been suggested here, but should we also consider at some point an ordinance for fines for, like when a
That
18-wheeler?
can be brought up once the recommendations are made. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. We have a first, we have a second on the table. Any additional discussion on this, council? Okay, Kat, how do you vote?
Aye.
David?
No.
Aye.
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 Okay. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please keep in mind, everyone was correct in their own respect. Bottom line, we need the signage. We need to deter the thoroughfare traffic. You know, I met with Miss Aiken the other day, yesterday, and she walked in. I said, "You didn't hear the news?" She said, "No, I didn't." And I said, "Green Hill's gonna be made into 4-lane." That started that meeting off really good. But thank you for coming this evening. And I want to take a short break, let them clear out. We'll do that.
I don't.
Okay, no, okay, all right. Moving right along, we have the Village Foundation, Annie Cannon Trailhead. Mary, have a good evening.
Yeah, looking real clear.
Hell no.
John, how are you this evening? Good, good.
I think I've forgotten why I'm here.
Hey, Claudia.
Hey, John?
What's bad, we did too.
I see the effect you have on people.
Exactly. I already knew that.
Okay. We're still in session, guys. Thank you. Go for it, John.
Ready? My name is John Aldridge. I live at the corner of Morris and Chestnut, and have been there for some time, 25 years. I'm here representing the Village Foundation tonight, which has worked for the past year and a half with the town of Blowing Rock. That has consisted of three town managers, and Alice has already been a great help since she arrived. We've been working on the Annie Cannon redesign and the Glen Burnie Trail. I wouldn't call that a redesign. That's been there for like ever. But we are working, part of the project is going to be safety features for Glen Burnie, which I will talk about in a minute. I'm going to do three things, and I am going to be brief. Did you
Hear that, council?
Did you hear that?
Go for it, John.
Okay. Everybody on the council is very familiar with this project because we have worked closely with the town for over a year and a half. But Alice suggested, and I agreed with her, that we have a brief project overview, which I'm going to start with. Then I'll go to project status, where are we today? And then I'm going to go to project timing. So the overview. This is a site plan. You can see at the top up here is Laurel Lane. You will see a sloping down to a pavilion with bathrooms. The parking is pretty much the same as it is now. It'll be relocated slightly, but the same number of cars will be down there. You want to switch, Alice? How do I do this?
I'll do it. You're good.
This, when you go down Laurel Lane, this is what you will see. Right now, Annie Cannon and Glen Burnie are hidden. Now, Sadie, my dog, and I walk all the time around town, and the question that I'm asked the most is, where's Glen Burnie? Now we have signage, thanks to the TDA in the town, but this will be the entrance to the new trailhead, okay? It will slope down using boulders that are just like really the boulders that have been used on the staircase coming down from American Legion to the park. It'll be sloped down. This is actually, along the right side, is actually the Glen Burnie Trail now. And one of the reasons we were able to apply for a grant from the state is that we're building a new trailhead. So this is Glen Burnie going down. The park is still Annie Cannon Park. It'll slope down and go to a pavilion. This is just another view looking back up. Okay. Same, you can see the pavilion. This is the pavilion now. Those of you that saw, and the town saw, when we first started, we had a covered bridge that crossed the creek. We decided that a better solution to the issues of a new trailhead, a gathering place both before and after hikes, and something that the town could use and rent out would be a pavilion. So we changed the design to include this pavilion. If you go in the pavilion and you go to the left, there will be bathrooms there. As you go through the trail actually runs through the pavilion, and it meets the Glen Burnie Trail as it currently exists just below this slide. This is a picnic area, and we've talked to the Historical Society about putting historical, not monument, not like the history wall, but historical information on the history of trails in North Carolina along this stretch. This is an overview. This is what it will look like when you walk along Laurel Lane. It'll be quite different.
project status, the Village Foundation has advanced monies over the past year and a half. We have a survey. It took us a long time to get it, but we got it. Topo, we have a topo in hand, a site plan, and we pay for the design of this. The next step is, which Alice has helped with. Alice talked to the state. We had to go back with an amendment because we changed the design from the time we applied for the grant. We received a $500,000 grant last year, but we applied with the bridge in it, so we had to go back. Alice, I think today, maybe, received an amended agreement. We had a conference call with the state in the past couple of weeks, and the state has approved the amendment. So that is done. Now we're free to go to construction documents, which will start in the next 30 to 45 days. After that, we will have an environmental review. I have been told we're into bureaucracy here. All the projects the Village Foundation has done to date have used private money. We have public money and private money in this project because it's a big project. So we have an environmental review. That's going to take, after we have the construction documents, it's going to take 2 months, we're told, to get that approved. It goes through various state agencies. Also, because we have private public money, we have to go through a bid process, which we've never had to do. We've talked to Alice and Margaret. I see Margaret sitting back there about the bid process, and that's something we just have to do. It's just the way it is. So we hope that in terms of going to project timing, we hope that all this will be done by the end of this year, that we will be ready to go. The construction start we have down is spring of next year. We hope that it'll be earlier, but you know how last winter was. And, you know, we do have winter up here, so we don't know. But at the latest, maybe early spring, we would hope to start construction. We would hope to complete the project by the fall, middle to late fall. Our grant deadline is October of 2028. So we have a year after. So we ought to have enough flexibility. Funding, we have public money, but we're also going to have private money. The private money we're working on, it is not in hand. We don't have the money yet to build this, but we have experiences the town has seen over the past years in raising money. We are, I would say, optimistic, but it's not in hand. But we hope by the end of the summer that money will be in hand to combine with the public money, and we'll be ready to go. So that's it. That's the overview, status, and timing. And I'm around for any questions. I'm going to turn it over to Alice, who's going to talk.
Y'all good with John? Okay. Alice?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Aldridge. Thank you to the foundation for all of the work that's been done and in getting us to this point on this project. I know there's been a lot of work put in, both on your part, the town's part, and this is can be a little bit difficult when you're dealing with public and private. So appreciate the patience as we go forward with it. I did, as Mr. Aldridge said, ask that they come back to present to council the amended scope of work on the project. It was discussed and reviewed at the winter retreat, but of course there's no actions that were taken at your retreat. So we felt it was appropriate to come back before council just to give an update, to let you all have an opportunity to look at this again, answer any questions, and also take the next steps forward on approval so that we can move forward in the appropriate manner. I did reach out to the state regarding the grant agreement initially. When I came on board, that agreement had not been executed at that point. The scope was amended. So the purpose of this presentation is to get 4 things accomplished tonight. One is to approve, to make sure you're all on board and you approve the scope of work that was presented with the concept. 2 would be to have a motion to accept that grant award, of course, with the understanding that the town will receive donations prior to awarding that contract. And as Mr. Aldridge stated, we will be bidding the project. That will be a process that's handled from the town side with the bidding. And then 3rd would be to approve the capital project budget ordinances as presented. That was included in your agenda packet this evening. And this allocates the money for the project. And then finally, to authorize execution of documents as necessary throughout the grant period. And that grant period is August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2029. I did receive, as Mr. Aldridge said, the grant agreement back finally this afternoon from the state, but then we noticed quickly that there was 2 time periods referenced. So we had to go back with a question on that to just verify what the open grant period was, which it is the August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2029. So I will have that, I have it in writing, and I will have that formal document, grant agreement, ready for signature and execution tomorrow when she's back in the office to sign it. But I'm confident we can move forward because I do have it in writing. So first, if there's not any questions, the first would be to accept
Okay.
the
Do we want a
concept.
motion for each separate section, Joey, or do we want a motion on all 3 or 4 of them? In other words, do we want a motion to approve the project, 1? Do we want a motion to approve the grant request, 2? Do we want a motion to approval of the budget amendment and a motion to approve?
authorize execution of the documents throughout the grant period.
Sure. I mean, I would prefer separate ones just in case there's discussion on any one particular point. It just makes it a more streamlined process that way. That way you're not conflating all 4. So I would do separate ones.
You would do one?
I would do separate.
Separate ones, okay.
Yes.
Mr. Harwood feels like he needs to recuse himself because his wife is involved with the Village Foundation. I, as mayor, unless Mr. Harwood's receiving financial benefit, which I don't see that, because we pay our wives, they don't pay us.
Well, when we
But that's your
consider-
call. That's your call.
Well, I am not receiving any financial benefits, but when the council considered this earlier, I did recuse myself just out of an abundance of caution and in the spirit of transparency.
Okay, whatever you feel you need to do.
Is everybody okay with that?
Sure, yeah. Okay.
You are.
All right.
See you tomorrow. All right, do I have a, go ahead. Yes.
How does this coincide with the Mayview lift station?
How does this coincide with the Mayview lift station?
We did briefly discuss that, John.
Yeah.
Do you want to?
We talked about,
John, could you step up to the microphone, please?
my memory on that is that we talked to, I think, Matt about when they're starting, and they said that they would start something in September, and that most of their work, and I should have mentioned, we're maintaining, the access to the lift station will be maintained for heavy equipment and stuff like that. And their work is going to be down, we start in September. I do not know when they contemplated completion, but they didn't think it would be, if we start next spring, that
hopefully they'll be long gone.
Well, I know at one time we were trying to get them close together to where we didn't have it tore up down in there
Yeah.
for the whole time, for a long period of time, so.
Right.
And we'll make sure we coordinate.
Well, we still
Going
haven't
forward.
received bids back on the
Right,
project.
we have
so
not
we're
received or
still-
approved any bids,
Yeah.
so we're still in the early phase on that front.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Doug. Melissa?
When do we need to have all of the matching funds in? Before the project begins, or can that be ongoing? What's
No, before, we're gonna have 100% of all funds, which will be in excess of the matching requirement.
Right,
And that's gonna be firmly committed before we start at all. So you will have 100%, which is more than the matching that's required.
right.
And
Okay.
the motion that I had outlined said that you're approving, accepting the grant award with the understanding that the town will receive donations prior to awarding the contract.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, so we need first motion to approve the project as presented by the Village Foundation for Annie Cannon Gardens and Glen Burnie Trail. Sound good?
So moved.
Okay, you got that, Hillary? She made the motion.
I'll second.
Doug seconded.
So Kat first.
Okay. Kat, how do you vote?
Aye.
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 Good. Okay, very good. All right, second is to approve the grant request for the Glen Burnie project, Annie Cannon Gardens project, as donations allow. What do you think, Joey? Okay,
To accept the grant award with the understanding that the town will receive donations prior to awarding any contract.
That's what he
So
said.
moved.
That's what she said, yes.
let's go with hers.
That's what he said.
All right.
Yeah,
Do we have a
I'll make
first?
that motion through her.
Do we have a first?
I'll second.
Okay, we got a first, got a second. Kat?
Aye.
Baylor?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Okay,
Next one's an easy.
approval of the budget amendment?
Yes.
Okay, do we have a
Capital
motion?
project budget ordinance.
Which we, don't push it. Do we have a motion to approve the budget amendment that, from the funding that was discussed at the winter retreat? Is that correct?
To approve the capital project budget ordinance as
You're
presented.
supposed to write this stuff down for me. Okay,
It will be written
do
down.
we have a
So
motion?
moved.
We talked about that
We
earlier.
have a second? Okay,
Aye.
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 okay, and last but not least,
Authorize execution of any necessary documents throughout the grant period, which is August 1st, 2026 through July 31st, 2029.
motion,
I make a motion.
second? Okay, Kat? Wait. Doug?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you. See, that was
It's
easy.
almost nap time. Thanks for all your hard work. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Okay, moving right along.
I just don't want to have.
Well, we don't have to do the Great Trail State.
Nope, they're good.
That's it, that's done.
What's that?
Yeah, that covers
Supposed to do the fourth.
All right. Blue Ridge Conservancy. Yeah, yeah. Oh, you're still here? Okay.
Yeah, you're in good shape.
You missed 4 motions in a row. Yeah. All right, Blue Ridge Conservancy Trails Month proclamation. Proclamation declaring July 2026 BRC Trails Month. Whereas the town of Blowing Rock recognizes the initiative to connect Blowing Rock to Boone with a pedestrian bicycle-friendly greenway through the Middle Fork Greenway project of Blue Ridge Conservancy. Whereas residents and visitors of the town of Blowing Rock need safe access for people of all ages and abilities to recreate which is beneficial for promoting physical activity, lower stress, and improves emotional health. Whereas green corridors along the Middle Fork Greenway filter and buffer runoff to help stabilize the banks of a key tributary of the New River and water supply of the community. Whereas greenways, pocket parks, and hiking trail systems provide economic value to the communities as shown by studies of projects in the region such as the Virginia Creeper Trail. Whereas the Blue Ridge Conservancy is partnering with the Watauga County and the towns of Blowing Rock and Boone to seek state and federal grants which require matching funds. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the council members of the town of Blowing Rock, North Carolina, encourages all high country businesses to participate in the July 2026 BRC Trails Month project to raise private funds to leverage governmental funding for the construction of the Middle Fork Greenway. Therefore, be it further proclaimed, the town of Blowing Rock council members encourage every visitor, citizen, patronizing, participating town of Blowing Rock businesses to round up their bill to the nearest dollar to go toward the Middle Fork Greenway project of the Blue Ridge Conservancy, adopted by the town of Blowing Rock on this 14th day of July 2026. Thank you to Blue Ridge, thank you to Middle Fork, and of course, Wendy, whom we all know, has done a great job. And I would like to say thank you for the county commissioners that are here this evening. Thank you for joining us this evening, really appreciate that. Thank you. Moving right along. Rector, this would be Kevin Rothrock.
It's all yours. I'm happy to turn that over.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Bringing this annexation request back to you. It came back in earlier in May for the public hearing. I'll just run over a few of the things that we summarized in the staff report that you received. Richard Turk, who represents Rick Turk Incorporated, has filed a petition of satellite annexation along with the applicable fees to annex 2 single-family lots off Sunrise Cove. The main purpose of the annexation request is to connect the town water and sewer utilities. Mr. Turk would be responsible for extending sewer to serve the lots through an easement on an adjoining property, and that would be a pressurized line to the gravity sewer on Goforth Road. As I mentioned, the public hearing was held in May, and public comments were shared at that time, and the council decided to postpone the decision until clarification on these following topics was provided. One, more clarity on the road ownership and the maintenance responsibilities. 2, information on the condition and the effectiveness of the existing 2-inch galvanized line, water line, and then the needs identified for a fire hydrant to better serve the area. And so over the past 2 months, the staff has discussed these items with the applicant, his attorney, and his engineer, and also gathered pricing from Iron Mountain Construction for the associated water and sewer improvements. Based on the information obtained, including the utility estimates, staff recommends the following applicant obligations in order to maintain or improve water and sewer utilities and private road access to serve current and new town citizens and or water customers. I'll back up a little bit. The 2 lots that are shown here highlighted are about midways up through Sunrise Cove. This is a piece of property that was annexed probably 12 years ago, a house built there. I have another slide that I'll show in a minute to show the water and sewer as they currently exist. Good. Back to this one. Okay, this does show the water and sewer. It shows the 2 lots. And I'll just run through the scenarios that we've come up with. Number 1, Richter shall pay up to and not to exceed $45,545 towards an upgrade of the existing 2-inch galvanized water line for about approximately 600 feet from Possum Hollow along Sunrise Cove. And that would be to a 2-inch rolled plastic line. Number two, the town may elect at that time to use the $45,000 contribution to upgrade the 2-inch line to upgrade to a 6-inch ductile iron water line with a hydrant connection near the Richter lots, which would be about somewhere in this area. This is about 600 feet, so this much would be replaced and a hydrant placed here. Currently, the closest hydrant is here on Possum Hollow Road near where Jim Green's house was. As far as the low-pressure sewer, Mr. Turk would have designed, permitted, and installed a low-pressure system that would pump up to Goforth Road gravity sewer. So it'd be about in this location, pump up here, and connect to the gravity sewer on Goforth. That public sewer, or that pressure sewer, would be designed for future public connections as the need might arise. In lieu of Richter participating in the water line upgrade costs and the full cost of the pressure sewer installation, Richter should not be charged water sewer availability fees for the development of those 2 residential lots being considered for annexation. Number 5, in lieu of Richter paying to install a public water upgrade and a public low-pressure sewer system, any water and sewer availability fees for any future connections to the water sewer lines for customers that are not currently connected shall be paid to Richter once collected by the town. The time period for availability fees reimbursement from the town to Richter shall expire 10 years after adoption of the annexation ordinance. Number 6, Richter shall be responsible for the upgrade of the existing Sunrise Cove private road along the 2 properties being considered for annexation. That would include adequate drainage and ditch system, properly sized cross drainage culverts, minimum gravelled road width of 16 feet, and a 60-foot Y turnaround constructed between his 2 lots. And so that would be the 2 lots he has in question are this lot and this lot. And so he would have a Y turnaround constructed here to provide a little bit better turnaround for garbage trucks and fire apparatus. This shows Sunrise Cove as it's somewhat been improved to this point. The town limits line actually runs right through here. This is the next, this is further up, and then this is the area that it starts to, that the road needs improvement. And these are, Mr. Turk's lots are like right in here. So around this corner, he'll be able to make some upgrades through this ditch line area and improve all this. And then this would be the area where we could have a Y turnaround that would serve for turnaround in that location. We recommend that the improvements listed be completed before CO is issued for any of the subject lots that he plans to construct homes. There are several properties along Sunrise Cove. They're outside the town limits that pay double water rates. This is fairly unique. There's only a handful of others that have this same situation. There are some other potential development lots on Sunrise Cove and above that access Goforth Road. These upgrades to the utilities and the private road may spur some new residential development, requests for town services, annexations, and better position the town to serve the residents in that area with fire protection and garbage collection with an adequate turnaround. Being a satellite annexation, there's 5 statute requirements that have to be met, and in our review of the annexation petition, it appears that all those requirements would be satisfied. Additionally, the obligations proposed for Richter in partnership with the town would benefit not only the applicant, but surrounding property owners as well. If you decide to move forward with this annexation request, the annexation would be effective July 30th of this year. And we'd follow all the other procedures for annexation, recording of plats, and sending off to the Secretary of State and Board of Elections. So we'll follow all that. That being said, I'll be glad to answer any questions you might have based on the research we found over the last 2 months of working with Mr. Turk.
David? No.
Could you go back and explain number 4 a little better for me?
Right, so, because the improvements that Mr. Turk is going to undertake to provide an upgrade to the water line, and that cost associated with that, and the introduction of a pressurized sewer line, we felt that it'd be reasonable that he not be charged the water and sewer availability fees for those 2 lots he would develop. He's spending about $80,000 to make those improvements. We thought that was reasonable.
Have we done this for anybody else?
We've done something a little bit different for Pete Petrie, Granville Petrie down in Quail Hollow. He installed a lift station, a sewer lift station down on Quail Hollow, and a force main all the way to Main Street. And the agreement then was that when other properties connected to that sewer system and would benefit from that connection, that those availability fees, once collected by the town, go to Mr. Petrie. Now that agreement, as I'm aware, has no end. And so one of the things we put in this was a 10-year window for those collections to be made.
Did the town have any investment in that, Kevin?
And
The sewer line and the lift station for Petrie?
I don't know the history of that. We maintain it, but I think that Mr. Petrie paid for the full installation.
Okay, I was just gonna, what, the yellow outline there, what are we looking at here?
This orange line is the town limits line. So these properties are outside of town. This is a satellite annexation. The Browns, the Brown family, they own this. It was developed by the
Oh,
parks.
so, but that doesn't have anything to do with his.
Doesn't have anything to do with it. These are the
Okay.
2 lots in question, this one and this one.
That's what, okay. Would it, so how many properties, looks like 2 houses is that 2 or 3 houses beyond
There's
his?
4 up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is an outbuilding here.
Okay, so there would be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
So these 4, 5, 6, potentially 7, but this one would have to have an easement across this property to get to a connection.
They don't have any, are they on the road?
There's a road here, but this lot could potentially make a connection
Okay.
to the sewer system here.
But how many are there 2 houses currently on the water line, or?
There's 4.
All
1,
4 of
2,
those
3,
are
4.
currently, are on the current line?
That's right.
Okay. He said that was an outbuilding.
Of these 4, you talking, this
that
one's
one's
on.
on water.
Yeah, he's on.
Oh, okay.
This one's currently on, but there's 4 here, and then there's potential for these 3 lots and possibly that one.
Okay.
On water, we're also talking about sewer, none of these are on.
You just indicated that he was gonna be paying $80,000?
For water and for sewer.
But on here it says 45. Am I reading
That's for
something wrong?
That's for water. 25,000.
Remember-
28,000, I think it is. So between 75 and 80,000 for water and sewer.
45,000 if he goes with a smaller line than 6 inch.
744, and the other one's 45.
Okay.
But the lesser amount is if he goes with a smaller water line. If we require him to do a 6-inch line, then Kevin's recommending we kick in 45,000.
But a 6-inch, is sufficient for a fire hydrant, correct?
Correct.
A 2-inch is not. But a 2-inch, the people that spoke at the public hearing said that they already have diminished water pressure, I guess, or water flow.
Water flow, right.
So,
As we mentioned, the 2-inch galvanized is probably down to closer to a 1-inch flow
right,
with this corrosion and the age of the line.
so I have we have a lot of water lines in town that need to be replaced. How do we justify prioritizing this because somebody wants to develop the property over somebody who is already existing, whose water lines are deteriorated?
I can't answer that.
Okay.
That's for y'all.
That's something that I haven't, I can't reconcile that number, throwing in, what are you asking of us? 30?
45.
Yeah, I am having a real hard time justifying.
33.
45 to 78.
Okay.
And how much are we waiving on those in item 4?
Are these gonna be 3-bedroom units, Richard?
Say it again.
Are they gonna be 3-bedroom homes?
No, they're not. One of them will be a 3-bedroom, the other will be a 2.
Okay. So,
And I would say if we do put any money into it, I would think that we should recoup the connection fees.
Okay.
In the future. I would not want to do that without.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's right to take money from it's not fair to the other citizens, I think, to help a developer develop a property in this way. And Mr. Turk, I'm just trying to reconcile this in my head as a property owner. How do we justify?
Okay, first off, we don't need to be addressing the people.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But since you did ask him a question, would you like to come up and answer her question?
What is the question?
How do I reconcile to other homeowners to contribute money to your development project?
You're not. I would like to answer that.
Yeah, in the future, Melissa, we do
Thank-
not address the people in
Thank
the
you.
audience unless they're given a presentation or it's the public hearing.
Thank you. I learn something new every day.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is not a development. This all started when I was out there. We bought the lots, and it all started when I talked with Kevin. He was out there doing some other work. And he says, why don't you annex into the city? And I said, okay, fine, I will. Shouldn't be a problem, I was told. It's becoming a major problem. I don't agree with Kevin's assessment with regard to cost. I'm gonna make a counter proposal because there's a major overreach going on here. Major overreach. The road is the road. You have fire department problems out there. You're gonna have fire department problems out there even if you don't annex this in. Because you'll have less to work with than what I'm gonna offer you. And I think that this is fair. First off, when you look at the numbers, if you want to come in and put in a 6-inch water line in there and do all of that for future growth and whatever you want, then why am I paying more of that 6-inch water line at $45,000 than they are at 78? Do you understand what I'm saying?
No.
Okay. You have the paper in front of you. If you look at this cost sheet that was put together by Iron Mountain Construction, There's, the second category down here is 24,744, and that takes care of the septic. The next one is 45,545 to put in a 2-inch water line from Possum Hollow out to the project. That goes up to 78. I'm still paying 45 of that 78. And you're getting a 6-inch water line. Why is that the case? That's an overreach.
But it's not an expense that we would be incurring right now.
I don't understand your point, but that's all right. I'm
Didn't
gonna
you
make
tell
my
us the
proposal
last
if I
time you were
can.
in front of us that you didn't need this annexation? You could do it through the county?
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
Didn't you tell us the last time when you were here, 2 months ago, that you didn't really need this annexation? That you could do it through the county?
I can,
Yeah,
I can.
okay.
But I want to propose something to you, and I hope Mr. Harwood would understand what I'm saying here. The number you come up with is 70,289 is my contribution. I don't think it's that expensive, but I'll pay it. I'll fix the drainage pipe that goes. Can you point that out, Kevin? This guy's not making any friends, right?
It's like right
Yeah, that right in there someplace.
at the surface of the road.
It's exposed, and I'll fix that. I'll lower it. You're asking for a turnaround for the fire department and trucks. And I don't mind doing a turnaround, but I certainly don't understand what a 60-foot turnaround means. No one's ever explained that to me. But I can provide a turnaround, and it may not be to county or city standards or anything like that. What do I do? I'm gonna show
Where the turn.
Let's see where the turnaround would be.
There's that access. So between, right between here.
I can cut that corner off, that particular part of the lot.
Kevin, go back to the one that shows the, keep going, next one,
Yeah.
that one. Where would the turnaround be on that?
Okay.
Pull up, back in.
Okay, so this doesn't do any good for the people living up the road. Okay.
I mean,
So I can do
it says,
a turnaround,
it says
but again-
here that, I mean, this has all been discussed and I guess negotiated, and it says here that,
It wasn't negotiated.
well, it's on writing, we were supposed to
And I told
consider
Kevin
voting
that,
on
I
it
said
tonight.
that I'm gonna go in and make.
And there's a
counter
60-foot wide turnaround, and you just said you didn't,
Do you want to hear my proposal or not?
yeah. I do.
Okay. I'll provide the turnaround. But taking property out of, first off, this site,
There's that top.
there we go. This property starts to go up, starting right about here. And it comes up to a point. And this is all rock. So if Kevin wants me to increase the width of the road at that point, that's not my responsibility. I own half of that road, Sunrise Cove, according to the plat. And by me having to acquiesce and say, okay, I will allow you to take that property out of there. Kevin's got another 20 feet on there for setbacks. It's reducing my lot to almost nothing. Now, if you want to do it, then basically you will need to go in and get everybody to give you that land, or you'll have to pay for it through That's right.
And the road is a private road, even if we annex the property, if we allow the annexation, it will remain a private road, correct?
Correct.
Would it-
So you then get your 6-inch water line. I'm making my financial contribution as requested. You also will have the access to the easement that I control that goes up to Goforth. Otherwise, you don't have that.
Would it not be less expensive to access water from Goforth? Okay.
It's a 1-inch line.
That doesn't do anything for the 2-inch galvanized water line that you have in there now, which is half use.
Okay.
It's a 1-inch line from Wonderland Drive all the way up to that last house. This house right here. It's a 1-inch line.
So will we have an easement?
So I
Water
feel,
line and the sewer line? And who will maintain it?
so I feel that that's a good proposal. Did you hear me? I said, I feel that is a good proposal. I'm financially making a contribution. I'm repairing the existing road that's out there with it. I'm giving as much of a turnaround as I can give. So I don't understand what the problem would be with me saying I don't have the responsibility to widen that road. So, any more questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Doug, you had a question about this water and sewer. So we already have, the line's been in the ground for forever, not forever, but, so we have a prescriptive easement over that water line to replace it, to maintain it however we need to. The sewer line, it would be a public line, and we would need an easement for that to be maintained by the town, to be public, and then others can connect to it in the future. So answer your question, it would be maintained by the town.
But we would need to get an easement from the people on that property, right?
Yes, he has an easement, but it would need to be reciprocated for the town.
And then if we maintain it, but we're not gonna collect anything for 10 years, if anybody even adds on to it, correct?
The way it's written is that we would pass the availability fees on to Mr. Turk. We would still be able to bill for usage.
I mean, for the others that tap onto it?
Correct.
Okay.
They would also have to annex.
Okay, I thought that I read that he would get the money for any future tap-ons.
That's right.
Yes.
For a period of 10 years. If no one
Correct.
connects after 10 years,
That's what I
then
mean, we're maintaining it during that period of time, and would get the money for it.
that's right.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
I don't.
There's not a whole lot of maintenance in it.
So, I think it's saying he will pay up to $45,545 not to exceed towards an upgrade of the existing 2-inch galvanized line for 600 feet from Possum Hollow along Sunrise Cove.
Right.
How much would the town then, because I don't see that.
If the town chose to upgrade to a 6-inch line, we would pay the difference between 45 and 78. That's what the estimate we got from Iron Mountain. And that would include a hydrant. Keep in mind, that does not go all the way to the end of Sunrise Cove. It goes to a point 600 feet
where the turnaround is.
No, doesn't go all the way to there.
It goes to about right here. Hydrant would be somewhere in this area here.
So then that 6-inch line then would be patched into the 2-inch line that the people further down the road.
Yeah, it's just an
Let's see.
existing 2-inch galvanized would remain from here all the way out. And it's the town's line. It's our responsibility.
Okay. Done. In 10 years, everybody up there's hooked onto his line. We get it. What do we charge those people then that hooked onto that line? Nothing? Who got
Not in those 10 years, no.
I mean,
We collect it and he gets reimbursed that cost
Yeah.
for that sewer connection.
So the 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms,
That's right.
or whatever
Yes,
is
sir.
in those other houses, he's gonna get that also.
That's right, $750 per bedroom. It's for 5 or 6 houses, around $13,000, averaging a 3-bedroom home. Wouldn't be any water connections because they're already connected.
Right.
And then he's not extending any water to them. So
If this lot connected to water,
it's just gonna be,
But then
he's not reimbursed for that because he's not extending the line.
And then he's gonna get a monthly fee.
No,
No, he won't.
no,
He
no,
won't get anything.
no, we
sewer
still
part.
charge double rates for those people that are out. When they annex in, the rates would go to a standard
No,
rate.
I'm talking about for the first 10 years, he will get a sewer rate also
No,
monthly.
no. He only gets the availability fees. He does not get the usage. Correct.
But the people beyond, so wherever that 6-inch line stops, anybody there wanting to connect would connect to the 2-inch line that extends to the rest of the road, and there would be availability fees that they have to pay to the
Yes.
town.
Yes.
So what he would pay, he would receive anything? I'm trying to figure out which.
if these houses, they needed to connect the sewer, they had some kind of issue,
Mhm.
and they wanted to connect to this pressurized line, they'd have to extend to it. And because he's put in
He's secured the easement and he's put in the first leg of a public line. When they pay to connect, those availability fees, we'd collect them and then reimburse to him.
Do they have to be annexed?
They have to be annexed. They're already connected, they're paying double rates on water, but if they want sewer, they have to annex.
Okay, so they wouldn't just pay double rates on sewer like they did on the water?
No.
Okay.
The only way they can connect is if they annex, just like he has, and petition the town. They want to get sewer. In order to do that, they first have to annex.
Okay, thank you.
This is a lot more complicated than most of our annexations. It's because we're dealing with properties that are currently on water, that pay double rates, that are in a little donut of town that's not in town. They're outside, they're in the ETJ. So it's a little bit unique. We've got an aged water line that needs replacing, and he has come forward to request annexation, and we have placed a requirement on him to improve that line.
But we're allowing him to do a 2-inch line, which long-term will not be beneficial to the people up above his property, which are currently on a 2-inch line galvanized as old. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
So if we allowed him to do a 2-inch line, is that going to provide enough water for everyone else?
It just improves that section of line
Right.
from a old galvanized to a 2-inch plastic.
Okay. Oh, he's putting in plastic, not galvanized.
That's right.
Would he do a 6-inch?
Ductile would be 6-inch.
So he couldn't do a 6-inch polyethylene to save money?
I don't,
Okay.
yeah.
Council?
That's
Thoughts? We have a motion.
Let's table this.
I would like to make a motion that we table this. Can I make the motion to table?
Of course, yes.
this Till next month,
You want to make a motion to table this till next month, correct?
the decision till next month. Give us a little more time to look into a couple of other things.
Okay, Doug's made a motion to table it till next month. Do we have a second? Wayne's, want a second? Any additional discussion?
I would like just clarification on what we would be looking at next month. Are we going
I
to be
just-
looking at Mr. Turk's proposal or what's in front of us tonight?
Well, what I'd like to know a little bit more about is the easements that we're looking at. Do we have all the easements in hand? I know we've got his easement, but do we have the rest of the easements? The turnaround of where he's looking at, I'd like to see that. I'd like to go up and look at, actually look at that turnaround. Just a couple of little items that
Okay, we have a first, we have a second to table it till the August meeting.
Can I say something here?
No, sir, we've already had a motion. I'm sorry, that's just protocol.
But I'm not gonna stand for it. So either my deal is attractive enough for you to do it, or there's no purpose in having further conversations.
The council has made a motion, they've seconded a motion, they've had discussion. They just want some additional, they want to do some research on their own, which is acceptable. Thank you, sir. Do we have a vote? Melissa?
Aye.
Doug? David? Kat? Okay. Okay. All right, it's tabled till August.
I won't be here. I won't be here. But.
Yeah, just give it, but the complaint I had, council,
So here's the thing.
replacing replacing that line, it needs to be replaced all the way.
So it's gonna chew up
But-
his lots.
that's inflation's.
Yeah.
You know,
You're up here on the-
Seals, and then there's this little argument about it.
See, how this 60-foot rock that he said is not here. See, when we turn
Thank you for your patience.
Did he just say?
Okay, back to Kevin Rothrock,
Right here.
speckled trout SUP amendment.
Uh-oh.
Kevin?
Back when this was approved, it was a conditional use permit, so we're gonna call it by its new term. So it is a special use permit. Speckled Trout is requesting an amendment to their conditional use permit, now a special use, to add a pop-up market to the restaurant use authorized on their property. This property is at 922 Main Street at the intersection of 221. Restaurant owners would like to add a pop-up market for local vendors during the days the restaurant is closed on Wednesdays. The market would be open from noon to 7 p.m. on selected Wednesdays. No construction or physical changes to the property would occur other than erecting 10 by 10 tents for the vendors. The existing parking lot would remain open during the market times. Speckled Trout's provided a description of what they'd like to do, and we've got a site plan and aerial here for you. And Eric with Speckled Trout's here if you have any questions for him.
Council?
Hopefully it sounds controversial to one of them.
I make a motion to approve the special use permit.
We have a motion on the table to approve. Do we have?
Where's these turnaround gonna be?
I'm sorry.
Where's your turnaround gonna be?
Okay, we have a motion to approve. We weren't in discussion yet, Doug.
We put a tournament for you guys in the last project.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Wayne's given a second. Any discussion on this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Was that the presentation?
No, I was ready to answer questions. If you had any. I didn't have any much more than,
I'm sorry, we jumped ahead of it, Dave.
So
Go for it.
if I'm understanding this amendment, there's, because it becomes a right that is concurrent with the ownership of this land and the SUP, not ownership, but the SUP, there is no specified start date or end date to these markets. So there could be a market every Wednesday, 52 weeks a year, unlimited. Am I correct?
that's correct.
Okay. And would you mind elaborating on why this is not being presented as a special use permit, a special event permit, rather than as an amendment to an SUP?
Okay. The property is governed by that CUP or SUP. And so, this being a change to that use, allowing an accessory type of use that is a separate category, open air market. Because that special use permit does not authorize them to do that, it has to come back for this, to council to authorize that or not. The reason it's not a special event, it doesn't fit the criteria of a special event by definition. And to me, the logical request was to amend the current permit that they have. Open air markets are allowed in central business, as this is zoned central business. So that made the most sense to me as an opportunity for them to request that.
All right. I don't know if this has to go with, like, the public hearing or anything. Are any of the other merchants on the street opposed to this, or?
I don't know. It does not rise to
It wouldn't be.
requiring a public hearing
Okay.
or a formal application.
Just,
Counsel?
I
know I've got, maybe getting in the weeds a little bit here. Does this not anywhere coincide with our tent ordinance?
With?
The tent ordinance that's only allowed 30 days?
No, because they're just 10 by 10 pop-up tents. They're not regulated by the building code. The types that we were talking about when we regulated use of outdoor dining, those are much larger. And these small pop-up tents, it's just like what they have for Art in the Park, or they sell hot dogs out in the library lawn. And they're customary and not even regulated by a code.
these will come down too after the.
Yes.
They're not up there.
Yeah, they just,
But there, other places could have these though in town, right?
yeah, they could. If authorized
Right.
by a permit.
Do we have to do them individually, or would we be setting the precedent in this one that would allow others to go ahead?
It's not so much the tents, it's the use of the property. And if it's an open air market, they have to be permitted. If
So
they,
let's
like
talk
if
about-
somebody wanted to have one in the parking lot there beside, was the bank, post office lot, and they wanted to have an open air market every week, they'd have to be authorized to do that.
So let's talk about the use. Is that an open air market or is it outdoor dining?
It's technically both.
Can it be both?
It can be. It's allowed in that zoning district. Outdoor dining is allowed as part of their restaurant. They're currently not allowed to have an open air market. The zoning allows both, but only if you authorize it.
I guess my question is more, can a property have simultaneous uses?
Yes.
Well-
It's classified as a combination use if you have, a lot of places have mixed use, have retail and,
We already are mixed use, we have retail and restaurant.
Yeah.
you are, yes. You have a bottle shop that you can sell what you have in there. That's correct.
So being you're closed, then the parking doesn't come into effect.
So Kevin.
I mean, they have sufficient parking to support that use.
All three.
Not all three at once. Like, they couldn't have an open air market and have the restaurant open all at the same
Right.
time. It would have to be
Either or.
on a day that they're closed.
Right.
Correct.
That's all.
So where is that stipulated? Where's that? In the ordinance?
Yes.
And I probably should have done more research on this, but why is it not a special, why is it not categorized as a special event?
Some clarity there for council as well. So I mean, in the land use code, special events, some examples are circuses, fairs, carnivals, festivals, and other types of special events. And then there's a list of criteria there. So, whether this particular use falls within that category, that's up for interpretation.
Not trying to.
Well, Doug's still worried about the turnaround.
No, I'm just trying to. Just trying to, get out everything to make sure where this will go from, if anybody else wants to do it, or how this will be.
Right.
So trying to get a lot of questions answered for it right now.
Well, I hope they buy property and pay taxes and follow
Right.
the rules.
Now, Blowing Rock Market already does this, don't they? On occasion.
You mean, right across the street?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But they could do it with a special use, with a special permit, correct? Or,
I don't, does he do it? Are you asking me, does he have a?
I mean, in the past, I have seen tents there before.
Okay, having a tent there is one thing.
Right.
Having outside vendors come in and sell on your property, that's totally different.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Okay. Doug, okay.
But it could, if he
If it's
asked for
approved,
this, you
yeah.
and it
He,
was approved.
he has, there is a special use permit there. He would have to have authorization to do something like
He
that.
would as well.
Yes.
My concern is more about the precedent that we're setting. Downtown retail has traditionally occurred in storefronts. And to allow an outdoor vendor market potentially every week of the year changes the character of Main Street. And establishes a precedent that other business may reasonably expect. I mean, if we were to approve this, I'm not sure what I would say when the Martin House wants to have a vendor market every month. Or Blowing Rock Ale wants to have a vendor market in their front yard, or Raggy Garden Inn for that matter.
With the Chamber of Commerce.
What's that?
With the Chamber of Commerce.
Chamber of Commerce has a special use, a special event permit.
That's, I mean, is that not the same thing?
No, their zoning's different. They have O and I. So, I appreciate what the Brinkers do for this community, and I understand this is a community-oriented event. But I am concerned about the precedent this sets moving forward.
All right, well, we inadvertently rushed and we had a motion put on the table in a second. Thoughts?
I think that's what we were doing, was discussion.
What's the motion?
Well, we had a motion to
To
approve.
approve.
it in a
To
second.
approve it.
Yes, and then we were in discussion. And so, how do you vote?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Wayne? David?
No.
Cat? Okay, so it does pass though.
Thank you.
All right,
Good luck.
thank you, good luck.
Promise it won't be offensive or alter things that don't take it direction. If it does, tell us.
Just get with Doug on the turnaround.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right, appointment of the council EDC representative. Doug, Kevin, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Okay. Thoughts, who would you guys like to put on to EDC? We've got, I think, two people that have interest. I think Melissa has interest and Wayne has interest. I don't know, if nobody else has called me and said they had interest. But, so thoughts, council? I mean,
I do have a question since when we appointed Pete and it was decided that it did not have to be a council member at that time, we either need to make a decision, does it need to be a council member, or is it something that we need to open up to the citizens?
Okay, well, Boone has I think it's a council member, Beach Mountain, the mayor, Seven Devils, I think, a council member. So I don't know.
I'm of the opinion it should be that we need a council representative. I'm just saying since we made that argument before that it did not need to be, that's why I'm asking the question.
Guys, gals, what do you think?
Well, I went back and read the statute. It can be either a private citizen or someone on council, and there's no recommendation or precedent or anything. So
Okay.
that's up for us to decide.
Well, I recommend him in the first time. I will recommend or nominate Wayne.
So you would like to keep it a council member, is that correct, Doug?
Yeah.
Melissa?
I'm
You're,
fine with it. Like I said, I just wanted clarification of that
Okay.
because it was an issue.
Dave, what do you think? You okay?
I'm happy with either of these two lovely people.
Okay, so I guess the
Was that a
council
nomination?
has essentially decided that,
Was that
for this go around, it will be a council member, it'll be Wayne. Since he has so much spare time, so I will I'll ask you all for a motion to approve Wayne, on the
I'll make a
EDC
motion.
as the EDC representative. We have a motion from Melissa. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second. Any further discussion? Great. Okay.
Aye.
Oh, you can, okay.
Aye. Oh.
All right, moving right along. You know, it's been a long time since we've been in council chambers, you've seen the sun go down. Or is it morning?
Yeah.
All right, official reports, comments. Joey, do you have anything? Melissa?
I think I've
I'm
said.
starting the other end.
That's okay.
One thing, I will say is that, luckily, the ABC laws got stuck in finance, so that did not change. So we're still good right there of not losing that money.
Very good. Wayne?
I'm good.
David?
Thank you.
Kat? Well, I do want to thank all the town personnel, Public Works, Parks and Rec, Fire, Police, I mean, everybody jumped the plate for the 4th of July parade.
Yeah.
Made it one of the best ever. I heard we had 100,000 people here. That was from Tracy Brown. But, you know, my thanks to staff,
Seemed like the most I've ever
administration,
seen in town.
our town manager, everybody did a great job. And thank you to all of you all for what you did. And you made it happen. And thank you. I mean, this manager right here had everybody working. I waved at him. I said, I don't have anything to do with this. It wasn't me. But thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'll go as fast as I possibly can.
Okay.
Briefly, iWorks, I talked about that at the last council meeting, so I'll be very brief. Staff continues to work to implement that. We're going to work to implement it internally first. The next phase of this will be the rollout of the public portal, where people will be able to report any issues or concerns that they see via their phone or computer. So that will be rolling out soon. The fiscal year 26-27 budget, after approval at the last council meeting, it was uploaded onto our website. So you can see that on all the documents for review. Council chambers included in that budget was $150,000. They included council chamber upgrades as well as improvements to the AV system. I have reached out to a company that provides AV equipment and solutions and reached out to schedule a meeting. That is pending. The grant that has been identified is open for applications as of July 1st. So I'll be starting to work on that application once I have a well-defined scope and cost estimate. Fire station roof, that project went out for bid on June 10th. Bids were due on July 8th. We received 2 bids. The lowest responsive bidder is under review at this time, and that amount was $99,646. I anticipate that we will have a contract ready for approval in August. Crosswalks, the pavement application that was discussed during the budget is on NCDOT's approved list, which is great news, which will greatly speed up the time. Provided that budget estimate that staff received during the budget process to McGill, so that they could reach out to them directly for additional information. A timeline is pending right now from McGill, so they're working on that. When the project is ready to be announced, I will do so, but we anticipate the work will be done at night to minimize any impact, because I know that'll be a question. The small statues that council approved at a previous meeting, those have been installed at Broy Hill Park, and signage was ordered. ETA on the signage is 2 to 5 weeks now, so that is almost completed. Cellular service enhancements, just an update from the last meeting. Blue Ridge Energy has been working as planned on these improvements, and they have completed the 321. They did 2 installations on the 321 corridor since the last meeting. They're working right now on 5 installations that are currently in progress, and we still anticipate work to be completed in October 26th timeframe. The water reservoir, I received a lot of questions, fielded a lot of questions over the past month on our levels and if we were going to enact any stage 1 requirements or shortages or stage 2, such that Boone did. I last looked at the reservoir last week on Thursday. The water level is still tracking right below the spillway, and since the rain that we had this week, I've not been up there, but I believe we're in good shape, and I don't anticipate that we will be issuing any type of stage 1 notification shortage anytime soon. 4th of July, would just like to reiterate Mayor Seller's comments, and thank you to the staff who put a lot of work in to the logistics to pull off that event. Everything went off wonderfully without any issues over the holiday weekend. So again, thank you to, I just want to say to Lieutenant Hunt and the entire police department. I know Lieutenant Hunt put a lot of work into the plan, Parks and Recreation, Public Works, IT, and as well as the outside agencies who stepped in to assist during that event. We had over 80 entries in the parade, and I know Parks and Rec was working up to the last minute taking entries. So so thank you for their diligence in pulling all of that off. And as I understand, was record attendance and record heat, which I also was told was my fault. I brought the heat from the coast. So with that said, that concludes my report. I went as fast as I could.
Thank you. We're going to be going into closed session.
Yes, under North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A3, attorney-client privilege regarding litigation, and North Carolina General Statute 143-318-11A5, discussion of potential property acquisition.
Council, we're going to take a 10-minute recess to stretch our legs.